Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this video, we will be discussing about prompt flow. Before we look into the prompt flow, we need to understand the difference between the AI agent service and prompt flow. AI agent service and prompt flow both will be using LLM and set of tools. But the difference is that AI agent service will choose the tools based on its need, wherein in prompt flow we will be following a structured approach. For instance, first we will be extracting this information and summarize this information and send an email. So the steps are well defined, wherein in AI agent the tools are dynamically selected based on the incoming data. For instance, if a incoming request it's to get the access, the LLM will understand, hey, the incoming request it's to get the access, then it will call the corresponding tool. On the other hand, if an incoming request it's for a different purpose, then based on the need it will choose the tool. So that is going to the provided samples here. The e-agent service, either it will be choosing the tools based on the needs, basically it's a dynamic selection, or it will loop through. For instance, the automated IT help desk, you will never know what exactly the user is asking. User may be asking for a permission, user may be asking for a password reset, or it can be something different. So based on the incoming data you have to choose the tool, so it is kind of a dynamic in nature. So some of the other samples include a proactive system monitoring, maybe you wanted to increase the RAM, CPU, or whatever is that, a travel itinerary. So it is not going to be the same for for even for the same person. It is not going to be the same every time. They will change the plan, right? And then supply chain, code refactoring, new employee onboarding, because he may be having a different question, like everyone will have a different question, right? So these are all some of the samples for the agent service. And then now let's look into the prompt flow. Prompt flow, it's kind of orchestrating the repeatable workflow, right? So for instance, let's say you wanted to analyze the document, in the sense the steps are going to be very straightforward. You will just load the document, extract this information, summarize, and identify the risk or whatever is that, and then send the result. Customer feedback pipeline, like customer it's giving the feedback, you understand what their sentiment, whether it is positive, negative, or whatever is that, it is always going to be the structured execution, right? So whenever there is a structured flow you have, then you can very well use the prompt flow. Examples include a financial report generator, support ticket categorization. So these are all some of the samples for a prompt flow. Now we will go to the portal and see how do we build the prompt flow. So there are to build the prompt flow. You can use the portal, or you can use the CLI, or you can use the Visual Studio Code, or any IDE for that matter. So first we will get started with the portal, and we will go to the Visual Studio to build this prompt flow. Now let's go to the portal. Prompt flow, you need a AI project, which I already have. So let me click on the Launch Studio. In the navigation, if you see here, there is a section called a prompt flow. Click on that. I have created quite a few flows for a demo purposes. You can click on the create button. So there are three types of flow that you can create: standard, chat, and evaluation. Standard flow, it's a completion flow, which means that it will take an input and it acts on that and it provide you the output. Chat flow, it will go back and forth, and the evaluation flow to evaluate your prompts. So let me click on the standard flow here. Let me call it as a choke. Let me create that. So if you see the flow here, it takes input, it acts on that, and it prints the data, and it provides the output. So if you click here in the input section, so there is a name for your input, and it is a type of a string. And here where you can pass the value. I will come back to the output in a while. And if I move forward to the joke, here where how you will be using your LLM, right? So here it says that connection needed. Click here. you will be having the existing connection. If not, you know like how to create the connection. So you can choose like whatever you want to have it. So let me choose the chat, though it is a completion flow, and then like click on the deployment name and response format, whatever you want to have it, right? So in this case, let me just go with the text format. That's it. We are done with the configuration here. So basically like now what I'm saying is that, so take the input, pass it to the LLM. I need to set here. So if you see here, we are using the topic here, and topic value is coming from the input. So here you can set input dot topic, which is again like your input variable, right? So your input variable, it's a topic, right? Your input variable, it's topic. So that is what we are setting it here. Then we have a Python function. It just takes the output from the LLM and just prints it, and finally you have the output which just takes the Python output, right? So now I have created one. Let me show you that. So if I just open the demo flow, which is nothing but a copy of the joke flow, so exactly everything is same here. Topic, I am providing a, like I'm asking a joke with respect to Honda, right? So nothing else changed, everything is same. So now what I have done is that if you see here, you have to start a compute session, right? So in order to perform any action or validation, you need to have a compute session. So you can just click on the compute session that is going to spin up a computing for you to execute this prompt flow. It will take couple of minutes for you to do so. In this case, like for this particular flow, I have already started the computing session. So now I can validate this. So I can just run on this. So it is going to take a couple of seconds to complete the execution. To the output here, view output. So this is your input and this is the output from LLM. So there is some joke about Honda and Toyota. And like if you just go to the logs, this is where like you will see all the execution logs, right? So if at all you wanted to troubleshoot something, you will see it here. And in the metrics section, there is no metrics as such. We will come back. And trace section, it will show you like how long it takes to execute and what is the input, what is the output. If you click on the compute session here, where like you will see what exactly allocated, all those information that you can see, and you can start the compute session and restart your compute session if there is any reason to do so. You can do so. And apart from that, if you see here, if you click on this raw file mode, you will see all the files. If you just expand this here, like you will see all the files. So we will come back and discuss all of these in the upcoming videos. The interesting part is that by default this compute will have a specific Python libraries installed. On top of that, if you want to install any additional libraries, you can update your requirement.txt file and then restart your compute session. The packages will get installed. We'll come back and discuss all of these in the upcoming videos. Now again, let me go back. Also, there are quite a few tools available to us. You can add a LLM or a prompt or a Python script, and there are quite a few tools that we have. Like some of these tools we already discussed in our previous videos. So definitely we can make use of these tools for this video. So just to recap what we discussed in this video, we discussed the difference between the AI agent service and prompt flow. We understood what is prompt flow and how do we create the prompt flow in the portal. We created our first prompt flow in the portal. So in the coming videos, we will build multiple prompt flows to understand how and when to use prompt flows in detail. Thank you for watching this video.